we're back with another video of Vlogtober. Today, unfortunately, did not go as planned. It is storming and the weather is really yucky. We were supposed to have an outside picnic with our grandparents, so unfortunately, I have to have it with him instead of my grandparents, but that's what we're gonna do. We just made the best of the circumstances and we're gonna have a picnic inside. I want one. Can I have a kiss? Oh.
Oh.
So we're just gonna have a picnic inside and we're gonna tell a really funny story. Probably, do you think this is the funniest story that we have together since?
I think it was probably the hardest time we've laughed, for sure. I don't know if they'll think it's really funny, but... It's
so funny. We have a lot, but like I feel like they're like uncomfortable to tell. You know what I'm talking about. But this one is really funny, so get ready to laugh because I already got tears in my eyes thinking about this because it was so funny, you guys. So I'm gonna go get the stuff and we'll start our picnic.
Yeah.
You guys, we're doing it legit. We even got our picnic basket. How cute is this little thing? Yeah. I'm so bummed that we couldn't do it with my grandparents. I thought that would be really nice, but...
Well, this is gonna be a loud picnic. With this kid.
Are you done? Dang! This came in our picnic basket. What?
Are we drinking out of those cups?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay.
It's a cute little picnic. And the plates that came in it. There's also napkins and silverware in there, but we don't need those.
Bro.
You gonna have a picnic with Mom and Dad?
Yeah, Dad.
I cut up some apples and strawberries because I don't think Grayson's gonna eat this, but I know he'll eat this. Do you want a bite? Don't touch it all. Take a bite. Eat. Go ahead. Good boy.
Bite. Yeah.
What are you doing?
This is all I can sit. I can't do Indian style.
Huh.
My hips hurt.
Here's your plate.
Thank you.
Oh, strawberries.
Going straight for the strawberries. Okay.
Uh-oh. Yummy.
Yum. I'll get it. Grayson, don't worry about it. But, thanks. You're over there munching on strawberries.
The cutest little strawberry eater.
Okay. All right, ready? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for all the blessings of life that you've given to us. Lord, we just like to ask that you would bless this meal that we're about to eat, that it would nourish our bodies. We just want to give thanks to you for the meal. In your most precious name I pray. Amen.
This is mixed turkey and ham, I think.
Yeah, I can tell.
I want an all turkey.
Oh.
What?
Who doesn't get napkins?
I put the napkins out. You just didn't grab them. I did put the napkins out.
Because you said I was grabbing 2 things, ended up being like 6 or 8. Oh my body hurts.
Oh, whatever. Hey, you abandoned me, Grayson. Come back to the picnic.
And come on, kid.
Mustard.
What is a picnic without Doritos?
Oh, I had those in there too.
They were in the cabinet still, honey.
No, I mean I had the barbecue chips and those for the picnic today.
Yeah, well, guess what? You forgot.
So we're super picky on our sandwiches, so I only have mustard, cheese, and meat. That's it. Derek's even worse than me. What do you have, Derek?
I have the good stuff.
What is it?
Meat and cheese, baby. Hand me a cheese slice, will you? Hey, you're crunching up the stuff, Grayson. Calm down there, buddy.
Grayson, do you want to have a sandwich? No.
You said it.
Do you want a bite of this?
He's like, that's slimy.
Yeah. All done? You want a bite? Look at Mom. Hey, look.
Look at that goodness. All the meat and cheese on there. Yeah, buddy.
One's better. You want an apple? No strawberries? Well, now Dad's got those chips.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So strawberry? Strawberry?
This is Dad's plate. Okay, you're just gonna look at me right now while you take my chips?
And say,
Okay.
Gonna be bougie in my little picnic basket cup. Cheers!
Sweet tea.
Oh. Okay, so for grocery pickup, right? Whoever did our groceries, they didn't did they say it was a substitution?
I don't know. I didn't go on the pickup.
So Derek's in the kitchen. He gets a glass of sweet tea. I hear him start going like, and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I just drank some really bad sweet tea. He's like, I thought it was old and moldy. I'm like, no, I just picked those up from groceries. And so he looks at it, and it was just unsweetened tea. He's such a baby.
Nobody drinks unsweetened tea. If you're watching this,
He was
comment
so
below.
dramatic, though.
Sweet tea all the way or no tea.
All right, start telling your story.
How's that Dorito? Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a sandwich in so long,
Careful.
and I still don't like the crust. I thought I might now. I don't.
You want me to call your grandpa over to peel your crust off for you, Jasmine?
Just because my grandpa didn't force my head down and say, you're not getting up from the table till you eat broccoli casserole.
That and eat over your plate.
Yeah.
But you don't have to eat over your plate, do you?
No.
You don't have to, huh? All right. The story. I'm going to spare names and whatnot to protect the identities of the people that we're telling in the story. I make it sound like it's a murder case or something. There was evidence left behind at the crime scenes, but
Okay, so we get invited to go to lunch with our friends. So this was how many years ago? Probably 7 years ago, I would say,
I was
right?
wondering, we were still pretty early married.
Yeah. So we go.
We're, mind you, us and a couple of our friends are invited to another person's house. Okay? We're not going over to our friend's house. We're going over to another person's house. Okay? That is actually closer. They didn't even know us. This is the first time they really met us. But we were with our friends, so we got the invite too. What you want? Oh, you want a Dorito? There you go.
So as soon as we walk in the house,
I mean, as soon. I mean, it was no introduction. It was, bam! This is what was happening. It was a little dog doing the whole rubbing its butt, scooting across the floor. You know how they scoot across the floor. And we're over there for lunch. And already I'm like, oh man, that dog's rubbing on the floor.
we kept going by our feet and just wanting us to pet it. And the whole time the owners were like, isn't she so sweet? Oh, she's so sweet. And we're like, yeah, so sweet. And then
Yeah, and they kept yelling at her. And again, I don't remember the dog's name. So for all intents and purposes, we'll say Sally or something. And they kept saying, Sally, stop it. Sorry, she's in heat. And I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's an animal thing, whatever, you know. I mean, it'd been different if the dog was doing it on the table that we were about to sit down and eat at. Then I'd be like, oh, I can't eat. But okay, it is what it is. And so we sit down, we eat, had a nice meal, and we all moved to the living room to chit-chat a little bit. Mind you, too, Jazz and I drove separate from our friends, so we could have left at any moment now. And we were getting ready to because we actually had some shopping to do and packing because we were about to go on a trip. And
mind you, me and Derek do not do good in funny situations. We cannot hold it together.
I can better than she can. She just loses it. Which actually this one did get me a little bit too, but normally I can hold it a little bit, but it was so awkward. I just didn't know what to do. So anyways, they have 3 dogs. And so they're huge animal people, dog people. And we go to the living room and we talk for probably 20 minutes about their dogs. Dog. Which is fine, you know. So, I mean, no big deal. I mean, their dogs are interesting, things like that. It was not a problem. But little butt rubber kept what?
Huh? That made me choke.
Oh, little Mr. Butt Scoot was scooting across the floor again. Ended up making. And he's smashing these strawberries.
He loves them.
he pulled the bowl back where you just moved it from. Take your food back, booty. The dog makes its way. We're sitting on the love seat together. Our friends over here, and they're all over the living room. And we're like close quarters facing each other. And the little dog, the butt scooter, scoots its way up to my leg and is looking up at me. And, I'm sitting there with my hands in my lap because I'm like, I'm not about to start petting this dog. This dog's it's in heat. I don't know what else is going on with it. And I wasn't even interested in this dog. So I was sitting there and I happened to turn away while I'm talking to somebody, and the dog jumps up on my lap and like sits down or like lays down instantly right on my leg.
And when the dog does this, everybody around is like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, she loves you.
She loves you. And I felt it instantly. Instantaneous. I felt just wet. And I'm like, all I can think about is in heat, this dog, female dog, on my leg wet. And I'm like, that's disgusting. Because whatever it was rubbing off on the floor, now it's rubbing off on my leg, on my thigh. And then another thing that's going through my head now is I'm wearing khakis. Not like it's black. Khakis. And so she's kind of chuckling like this, like, oh, the dog's on your leg. And so when everybody else kind of started chit-chatting a little bit, I look at her and I'm like, Jazz, I can feel it on my leg. I can feel it. And she's like, what? And I'm like, it's wet on my leg. I was like, get this dog off me. And I didn't want to just shove the dog down because they were like big animal people. They thought that was probably abuse. And they thought it was cute when the dog first even jumped up on my leg. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like, Jess, get it off. Get it off. I can feel it. It was like,
I'm losing it.
Grabbing onto my leg. It was so wet. And she's losing it, which makes me start laughing. And Jazz is kind of hiding her face, but all you can see is her body doing this because she's laughing so hard. And they're
right in front of us.
Right in front of us.
Right in front of us.
And the most awkward part was all of a sudden everybody kind of, their focus turned to us like, why are they laughing? And then my buddy he does not know the definition of nonchalant. And what's so funny, guys? And I'm like, dude, don't right now. And I'm like, hey, okay. Hello.
Don't run with that. Sit down.
Watch out for my tea. And so, you want some more? There's some more strawberries in there. Look, there's more strawberries. And so I'm looking at him like, hey, stop. And so finally they started talking again. One of the other dogs did something. They started talking about that for a second. As soon as I got it, I could look and everybody was looking away just briefly. I shoved the dog down, gave it a little brush and scoop down. So I get the dog pushed down. And lo and behold, old Derek was right. Big old stain spot right on my khaki legs from the dog's splooge.
Back that up with the dog when he pushed the dog down. His pants went up.
Yeah, it came up with it, and I was like it was stuck.
And it was so gross. I lost it. I could not hold it together.
And I'm like, Jazz, it's stained. Mind you, we wanted to get up and leave.
But now he's got this big stain on his khakis that people can see. So I'm like, stop it. Like now I'm like, okay, we can't be rude. So I'm like, stop it. And he's like, and I'm like, stop. And so we're like, gritting our teeth, going back and forth, talking through our teeth. And so then I lose it because I look over and he's like this.
I kept trying to dry it as best I could. I only knew, okay, let's make some friction to get it dry. And so I just kept trying to dry it nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, all right, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, cool. And so we had to sit there for an extra like 30 minutes because I was like embarrassed. I was like, I don't want to stand up.
No, you forgot the best part.
Huh.
We're sitting there and he's doing this. And the dog jumps back up on his pants, and they're like, oh, she just loves you so much, and I lost it again.
But that one didn't last long. I was able to get her down again real quick, and then she ended up going over to my buddy's lap, and he was like, oh, hey, And he's all petting her, laying on his lap. I'm like, good. He can have all that. Which I ended up asking him, by the way, afterwards, if he ended up having, once I told him this story, if he had a spot. And he said, no, he didn't have a spot. So everything rubbed off on me. It was all on me. But I just felt embarrassed if I stood up with this big splotch on me.
Because it was big.
It was big. And they would have been like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it was just awkward. I'm like, I'm not trying to do that to the people. So I'm like, you know what? No, let's just. So finally, it took another 30 minutes for me finally to get it dry. And by then I was like irritated. And then finally, as soon as it was dry, I was like, well, thanks for having us over for lunch. We're out of here. And we left and never been back.
They were still talking through all this, and only Derek and I knew what was going on. So they would be like telling a story, like a serious story or something, and we'd be like, "Oh yeah!" Like we would try to get our laughter out in their story. Mm-hmm. So they probably were like, "What is going on, you guys?" That probably didn't sound so funny to you guys, but that was just picture being at somebody's house. Happening to you, and you don't know the people.
It was a scene out of a movie, for sure.
Yes.
That could have been in a movie.
When we got in the car, we didn't even leave. We probably 2 to 3 minutes, we just died laughing in the car before we pulled out of the driveway.
That was bad.
So every so often, we just like, we call it sploosh, the sploosh story. Sploosh. Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
You telling your story, Dorito hands?
Mm-hmm.
You gave him Doritos, so you're cleaning up that cheese mess.
Well, the only reason it's really messy...
It's on his pants. I just put those pants on.
The only reason it's messy is because the strawberries were wet and touched the Doritos, so that's from...
No, he's got Doritos on his pants. Those are new. He's going... Yeah, but he's going with my mom.
Let's get some more pants. It's a picnic!
All right, guys, thank you so much for following along with that funny story. I hope you got a laugh out of it. I don't even feel like we told the full story because I would laugh too hard telling, like...
I feel like you won't get it. It's one of those ones that's like, unless you were there, but I'm telling you, when that dog stood up and that splooge was on my pants, on my khakis, it was so... I felt like... We didn't even know these people, really. That was the scene from a movie. Like, how do we get out of this house now?
Yeah.
So, yeah. As always, comment below. Maybe you got a funny story similar. Hit the like button if you're not a member of the family yet through this awesome Vlogtober.
We only have
hit the
about...
subscribe button.
Yes, hit that subscribe button. That would really help out my channel. We only have about a little over a week left, and we have been consistent and posting every day of Vlogtober, so I took that challenge on, and I'm happy that we were able to accomplish that so far. Yeah, so far. It's getting rough. See you tomorrow in our next vlog.
He's waving still.
Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. We'll see you tomorrow in our next video for...
Vlogtober.